All right. Already know who this legendary person is, but let the people know who you are and what you do.
Well, formerly known as REDDIRAY, currently known as DJ Marathon, producer, audio engineer, DJ, music director.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let the people know where you from.
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
Made my way out to Cali for a long time. Lived in Colorado, the whole West Coast. Then I moved here. Met you, what, 2004, 2003?
It's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute.
It's been quite some time. Quite some time. You know what I'm saying?
So I moved down here. Then I went to Miami. I spent like 10 years down there. Moved back up to
after Orlando, you went to Miami?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
It was good. Real good. I linked up with Pitt. Did a couple of mixtapes with him. Linked up with a lot of, I don't even want to say the names, but I went down there and that's where everything started, really, for as far as industry. Got some publishing, did some music with Ashanti, all that good stuff.
Oh wow, I didn't know. Look at
T-REXZ is like, wait, hold on.
I'm a little bit shocked.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't know all of this happened after that. You know what I'm saying? Because you definitely made a lot of history right here in the city.
Well, this is where it started. It started in Orlando. I did music out in the West Coast, and trying to get with DreamWorks Records back in the day. That didn't fall through. I got in trouble. I went to jail. Then I broke state. I was in Colorado. Secret Service came for me, bro.
What?
Yeah. And so I came to Orlando, and I still did music. But I met Big Earl. I met a lot of people while I was here. I met you.
Yeah.
Owned a couple studios and then mixtapes. But I put myself behind, because when you met me, I wasn't rapping, really. You know what I mean? I knew you know me as a rapper, but I was literally like doing recording engineering, producing, things like that.
No doubt, no doubt. Speaking of such, what is your best technique as far as an audio engineer?
Well, you know, at the time, Full Sail was just blowing up. And a lot of people were coming to our studio, like Cool Hands, and a lot of people were coming in, learning all the technical stuff. So the best technique for me is, I'm a music fanatic. I love listening to music.
Yeah.
And so it's a technique because it has to do with your ears. So I listen to the music.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what kind of genre it is. I listen to the music and I mix according to that song that I like. So if it's an R&B song, depending on the texture and the instruments, I'll listen to the song. The best technique is to listen to the tracks raw. And I start.
When you say raw, what do you mean by that?
Raw track. So for instance, like on Pro Tools, for say that we used to work on, right? I would listen to raw tracks. So I would have nothing on it, no compression, no EQ, nothing. And I would level everything out. That's my technique. I would level it out, and then I would go per track and say, okay, this needs compression, this needs an EQ. You know, you got to do things separately. So you have your instruments, and within the instruments you have your chords, you have your drums. Those are mixed differently. Drums are all, to me, my technique was keeping them in mono. And then the chords and the keys and the guitars, the trumpets, the saxophones, whatever it is, the symphony of music, I would go ahead and do that in stereo. Everything needs to be leveled.
That just opens up something to me, because I'm thinking like either you mix in mono or you mix in stereo, but you can be cohesive with both.
I did, yeah, that was my technique.
But some people do it one way or the other.
They do. The reason I would do synths, you just get a better, with the plugins I use, everyone has their little niche.
Yeah.
Mine was all organic music, chords or keys was stereo. I would record them in stereo, mix them in stereo. I did vocals and drums in mono.
Okay, that's interesting. Especially for me, because I'm still trying to learn that stuff.
So all that stuff is leveling first, and then going by track. But since I've been doing it for so long, I already have a pattern.
Yeah.
My vocals have a certain compression depending on the mic. You know what I mean? EQ. So to me, I have presets in my mind 25 years in. You know what I mean?
Doubt.
But that's my technique. Level first, then throw some plugins.
How did you get your name?
REDDIRAY? First of all, REDDIRAY. Old school is it's resilient, enduring, dedicated, and devoted with integrity. REDDIRAY being the king. My name's Ray. So I took that, and I was opposite of all that. I was more hood than anything. I wasn't dedicated to nothing but myself. But DJ Marathon came. I went to jail in Miami. So my homeboy from G Unit, him and I decided to go. I never asked him for anything.
Yeah.
And him and I went into an agreement to start a band, and we did. And I had some fallout with the band over. We had a $2.3 million.
Man, you did a lot of stuff, bro.
Yeah, we had a record deal that was available. It wasn't ours, but we were going for it, and we tried to get a placement on Terminator 4 or Transformers 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a song out, and I was trying to get that to Warner Brother, and our band just fell apart. And we're musicians. They took my song and copy wrote it on a hard drive, and it was my song. I mean, mind you, they're musicians as well, but you just don't copyright stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got a fallout, got in a fight with a dude, and I went to jail, and I was facing life. And
the fight was that bad?
It was bad. It was bad, bro. It was pretty bad. When it comes to my identity was wrapped around music. So it wasn't that, and you know how long I grinded?
Yeah.
So I'm in Orlando, I'm grinding. Yeah, legacy, like I'm running into, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Scott Storch was hot at the time, knew him, met him, and you're rubbing elbows with all these famous Rick Ross and everything. So when it's your time in your mind, this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
Not that they were gonna work with me, but everything was set up to where if I give someone a hot track, I had enough connections.
Yeah.
To be like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm a phone call away from calling this dude.
Yeah.
We're in the same circles, the same studios. So I felt like my identity was in music, so I got really heated. They took my music. This is, I'm 12 years in, and that was the song that's the song that's gonna blow us up to me.
Yeah.
And they copywrote it. So I was like, yo, I'm out. They don't like me, so I took it. Where my identity was robbed, so I ran up in the studio, T. I ran up in the studio, put him in the hospital, cracked his wig. I did a lot of things, bro. I was really upset. I had an attorney. Bro, I was at the best place in my life. All I had to do was sue the dude.
Yeah.
But nah, bro, you can't turn me. You
crashed
can't.
Out.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you crashed out.
Bro, and I lost everything. Well, I gained everything, but that's when it went from REDDIRAY to DJ Marathon. I didn't run from the career, bro. It just morphed. It didn't mean that much to me.
You evolved.
Yeah, it just changed.
Okay. Who's your favorite producers?
Timberland, one of my favorite producers, because he actually produces. And when I say that, it's not just making beats. So I have beat makers like Premier. I like their beats.
He's my favorite.
Bro, come on,
my favorite.
He's
ridiculous.
But from people I could only say, I've never worked with him, but people I've been around. I've been around the studio when Timberland was there. I've been around when Scott Storch was in Circle House and Hit Factory. Like, I was around those things.
Yeah.
Right? Not particularly in with them, but you could hear the magic. You could feel it. So, especially with the time I was coming up, there's some of my, of course, Dr. Dre, producing wise, because you learn a lot. There's a lot you learn in the industry. It's not just making beats.
Yeah.
It's the whole production. You know, it's like the money behind it, the vision, the getting the best out of an artist. You know what I mean? Be like, T-REXZ come and be like, I don't sing. And I'm like,
I feel like a lot of that is missing nowadays. Like, when I came up, when you work with a producer, like, they gave you feedback on how you was rhyming. You gave them feedback on their production. Like, you built a song together. It wasn't like, now, email your beat, you add to it, whatever. It was so different.
Yeah, there was no emailing back then. You have to drive the jump drive to somebody. And that's the good thing. We did things the hard way. So, like, there's a lot of respect for the people that came up, like Master P and all these people that actually sold out the back of their trunks. They were involved. They're grassroots. Yeah. So the music was like, you feel the dude. So when you finally meet David Banner like I did, I felt like I know him, bro. Yeah. I was like, man, we go back in my head. I mean, he's like, who are you? I'm like,
before the internet, I mean, music was the way to tell us about different cities and what to expect if you ever came to this place. That was our news outlet.
And we waited. You wait for a hot song. You'd be like, T-REXZ is dropping another mixtape. Yeah. And you hear one little snippet here and there, and you're anticipating. Yeah. Right now, it's just anyone who has a song, drop it on Friday. Yeah. And it's like, and I DJ. And I get, like, I used to, when I first started DJing in 2012, I DJed when I was in high school. So I never stopped.
How'd you get into DJing?
Well, it was more spiritual than anything. So when I was in jail, bro, I was thinking about murdering this dude. I was like, I'm gonna get him touched. If I'm gonna do life in jail, bro, I'm gonna do life in jail for murder. That's how I was thinking. Yeah. It's nothing I suggest for anyone to think that way. And I heard a still voice, a little voice in my head and in my heart. It said, "You're not doing my will." Bro, I didn't know what that meant. What's that mean, dog? You're not doing my will. And I was like, man, I'm going crazy, because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my cell, and the dudes behind me that were in the cell with me were talking about beating someone up. They were in there together. And I just ignored it. And I was like, man, when I get out, I just need that phone call, talking cold. I'm going to get this dude touched. $2.3 million rate. All I thought about was the stuff that wasn't really mine, but I had access to. And I was just heated, man. My hand was still swollen. And I was like, man, I'm gonna get this dude killed, or I'm gonna kill him. I literally had lost my mind.
Yeah.
And I heard it again. This time it cut. It said, "Ray, you're not doing my will." And bro, it was God. I ain't scared to say it. It was him. I never wanted him. You knew me. I wanted girls and money, and I had it. I had both. I had everything I wanted. And it scared me, bro. So when I got out of jail, miraculously, I had no bail, and that's just a testimony we're not gonna talk about right now. But when I got out, bro, I felt transformed.
Yeah.
And when I had that feeling, I literally heard not Buddha, not Mohammed, I heard Jesus, and he's a loving God, bro. He said, "Finish the race," and right there, I transformed from Ready Ray to DJ Marathon, and went from being first in the crew to being last. So I'm here to serve.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me, because, you know, I'm more alpha than anything, bro. I gotta be the front man, because I know I can get us somewhere. I know I can produce. I know I can make the money. I know I had to let all that go and just DJ a whole bunch of knuckleheads I did not like.
Yeah.
And this is positive music, bro. Like, this is all positive music.
Yeah.
So I was doing music that corrupts a man's soul. To teach it, you must repeat it. And I was talking about murder. You know me, dog. Street vibes. And mind you, at that time, I had Pitbull host my mixtape, had Rick Ross on it, had Briscoe, all the Po' Boy, Flow Rider before he blew up. I had all these dudes on my mixtape promoting things that were corruptive. And I went on tour. So I saw the little girls, the 14, the 15, the 16-year-old girls chasing older men. Now, we stay away from them, but they're there. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I truly doing? What am I doing? So he took my music and embraced it. And I actually made better music now, because I'm understanding that music is a vibration. It's a frequency that talks to you. You don't need to know the language. You don't need to know where you live. It's the only thing on this planet that you can enjoy not knowing the language, and you don't need a passport. It can touch someone in Africa or in Australia. It's music is, bro, that frequency's off the chain. So that's how my name changed, and that's how I started DJing. So it's not just getting down on mixes, because I love doing that. You know, I mash up, break beats, all that. It's talking on the mic. So I have a 3-hour show, you know what I mean, across 20 states, talking positive to men. So not only am I rapping and DJing, but I'm using my music to make an impact, not just it's not just about, you know, being an influential person. It's making an impact. When men call you up like, "Dog, I was gonna commit suicide, and I heard the song, or I heard you talking," that's when you're like, "Yo, my payday's good."
Yeah. So who taught you to be an audio engineer?
By default, and I think a lot of people are gonna understand this, I didn't have the money.
I totally understand.
I didn't have the money, dog.
I understand.
Like, I didn't have the money, so I was not who I am today. I had moves. I sold drugs. I bought studio equipment. Now who's gonna do $80,000 worth of studio equipment? Who's gonna run that, bro? Me. And we didn't have YouTube. I sat there, and I was like, that's how we did our music. I would bring in people from Full Sail and be like, "You can keep the money off the session." You know, I only charged like $10 an hour. Just as long as the engineer was there, that was me. I didn't take a paycheck. I just sat there and learned.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm gonna learn, because I always had the ear. But I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. So I spent 3 years underneath a whole bunch of people, and they were going to school. But I went to the real school, because I learned off of just using my ear, not just technical, but just being like, "Yo, this sounds good," and just learning from touching, because I couldn't afford anyone. I can't afford 120. Back then it was $125 an hour. I think it still is, maybe more. But studio was different back then. You can't email. You got to drive yourself to the studio, sit like we did, wait, go in there, check your time. You better have your verses right. You know what I mean?
So a lot of times, some of the sessions was just counseling. You might not even get that much music done.
You're over there like, "How's that sound? Oh, it sound good." And before you know it, you have one verse. You're like, "Oh man, I gotta book another session for the chorus."
No, but I mean, sometimes in all honesty, sometimes go to your session, we start talking about life, and next thing you know, you done ate up all your time. Next person
I
is
didn't
coming.
do that to you.
I mean, it happened, you know. I mean, conversations happen. You're a real person, so we have real conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what made you, you know what I'm saying? I mean, your studio was a comfortable place. You know what I'm saying? One of the best studios I've ever recorded. I mean,
Thank you, bro. A lot of people came.
It felt like home.
Yeah. I had just moved to Orlando, running from the cops, and you know, I was downtown handing out flyers. I was my own street team. Remember that?
Yes,
I would go around with studio. Show. I would do small shows, big shows. We would all do shows together.
Yeah.
You were like, Ready Ray, man, I got this show for you. I never said no. I was like, yeah, count me in.
Have you ever had a disagreement with the client, and how did you handle it?
I did. I'm going to say his name because we wound up being friends. Do you remember Showtime? He used to come by the studio. He looked like Nelly. He was buff too, big guy. He was mad because the time went over. But as you know, I used to like charge people big money if they had the money. But people like us, come on in, just pay what you can pay.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys, but there's a rule with that. It's like you come in at 3, but if someone is there, I will double book. But this guy wanted another hour. He's paying $125. This dude was paying on a scale rate, right? And I have an engineer in there. I got to pay him. So he was pissed, bro. He's like, Reddy, why do I always take the back, bro? And he never really came out his face with me. And I'm very temperamentalist too. So you got 2 dudes, but I like him. He's my boy. I understand his frustration, but like, we're in hip hop, bro. You can't disrespect me in my place, bro, especially when I'm showing you love. So I got this pride thing going on. How I dealt with it was I let him say what he had to say. And then we're both men. So I was like, what are you going to do about it? He's like, what are you going to do about it? And, you know, it goes too far, especially between 2 dudes that we have an album together I'm working on with this guy. It's not my album, but I respect that he had to take off work. You know, how I dealt with it was I explained to him, I was transparent. I said, look, if you want that time, he didn't like it, but it's just the truth. If you want to come and book time for sure, then you pay the hourly rate. But if you're coming in and I'm plugging you in for the, I mean, dude, we're not making no money off you. It's actually costing us money for a whole hour.
Yeah.
But I believe in you. So just being transparent, understanding that there's boundaries that we have to have with each other because we're all musicians. Hip hop, we come with a lot of luggage, bro. We have a lot of male testosterone going through us.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's not about being punked out. It's not about being taken advantage of. It's just our focus is music, so let's keep it here. And this is, you know, the situation, being transparent, having empathy. Empathy goes a long way. Empathy's not punk, bro. Empathy's like, all right, so I get you. Like, you're not punking me out, but I see you're angry. He had empathy on me too. Yeah. He came back. He was like, all right, man, whatever. And then came back with food the next day. Oh, Reddy, what's up, dog? It was just because it was transparent. You gotta stay transparent. You gotta stay focused on your goal. Stay the course.
No doubt, no doubt. What's your favorite software to use?
Back then, of course, was Pro Tools. I still like Pro Tools, believe it or not, because I know it so well. And I bought a lot of plugins. So I have all the plugins for Pro Tools. But I use everything, whatever's in front of me. I don't have a particular favorite. Right now, I'm working on something through Mixcraft. I like Mixcraft. Mixcraft, the newest version, Pro Studio. I like it because I can use the plugins that I bought and they go in. Okay. So to me, I like it for vocals, for beats. I'm old school, bro. I stick with Pro Tools. Okay, that's what's up. That's really old. I got an older computer for it. You can't tell the difference though. If you heard it, you'll be like, oh, no one knows. Depending on what kind of music you do.
I always feel like it's not the equipment, it's the man behind it.
Period.
You know what I'm saying?
Look
like,
at TikTok.
I've seen people use no-name programs and have it sounding like, wow.
Yeah, I actually learned the hard way, T. When I went down to Miami, I saw Pitbull at my boy Diaz Brothers. Big shouts out to Hugo. Love him and his brother, Louis. But they're really dope. They're multi-platinum producers, bro. They got stuff with G Unit. You know, Who Let the Dogs Out? They got a Grammy for that. Okay. But they always opened up their house. Yeah. So I met Pitbull, and he did my mixtape, and then his manager had hooked me up with the Diaz Brothers, so I went over there. Yeah. These guys are willing to work. They're not like low. These dudes are that's Miami's finest with DJ Last. So like they gave you an audience because they understood music, and they taught me a lot. Because at our music, I wasn't listening to much people because I was a crab. I was trying to hold everything down, where they're holding everything up. They're like, come on through. That's how they find talent. So learning through them, seeing what they did with songs that made his album. They were doing it like Outkast was in the shower. And I'm like, I'm spending thousands of dollars. They break open a laptop that's old. They're like, if they call it data, just get the data. We get the stems, and then we take it to Hit Factory or with them with Circle House. We'll take it there. So I learned a lot from these dudes. So watching these guys move and operate in the industry, they weren't making anything complicated. They were like, get the vibe, right? Capture the moment, song with a good mic, and we could do the rest. Now, you don't want garbage, but they're not trying to mix at home. They're just capturing the wave. I've actually seen people do it on their phones. Plug in a mic to their phone and record what they have over like this and sending it. And then
let somebody that know what they're
technology
doing.
Today, man, you get that bit rate in there, you're good, bro. You're like, oh, I need the information.
Wow, that's powerful too. I know you named a few, but who's some people you had the pleasure of working with, and who would you like to see yourself working with in the future?
I don't want to say too much. I'll tell you why, because I had some legal stuff happening. But who I liked working with, which was my friend way before I worked. Some of you guys will know him, some of you don't. His name was Chad Beats. He goes by Chad Dexter. I enjoyed working with him because he's a good producer. He's produced for G Unit, for Jim Jones, I mean for everyone. He's got beats everywhere. And the reason I like working with him was because he understood music in such a unique way. He wasn't he didn't overthink anything. You know what I mean? He just made music to what it felt like. That feels, he wasn't chasing what the sound is. He didn't care what drums, nothing. He says, if that sounds good, that's good. And I'm a big fan of his production. His music has always been dope to me. So I like working with him. I like who I've worked with on mixtapes, and he's given me some beats. Also is Hugo Diaz. He's an amazing producer. I never worked on an actual title song with him, meaning from a label point of view. I worked a lot of home things with him. He gave me beats. I was able to record other places, but his music to me and the way he works, dope. He sits there and he just vibes out, man. He just vibes. Those are people I've worked with, and I think they're so many others, but those two guys definitely would bring me to another level.
If an up-and-coming engineer was to ask you for advice on getting into that career, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, let's just say, are they trying to get a job in a record company or a studio, or trying to produce and get clients? Like, there's two different things, so I'll give two different answers. If you're trying to get in to a studio so you can get your hourly pay and get some points on a record, what I suggest is you fix up your craft at home, learn what the studios have. So if they have a double SL, learn that stuff before you go in there and showing your skill set, because it really is technical when it gets to those things. Always be on time. Never be a writer, never try to sell yourself. Let your music sell you, let your sound sell you. You know what I mean? Let that sell you. Let that be your track record. Where people brag about you, you don't brag about yourself. I've had so many people walk up to me, bro, because they see you with people, so they think you're the ish. I can't help you because I'm in the same boat you are. I'm just a little closer, right? But I've heard people say things and sell theirs. Man, I got the best mix. I got this. I got that. Doesn't do anything for me. Now, if you hand me something and you're like, yo, you know, I'm getting into mixing. That's more as a mixer, as a mixologist, and someone that does audio recording. That's something that I would say, okay, I'll hand that work over. You know what I mean? As far as getting your own points, a lot of recording engineers want money immediately. Sometimes, if you have a good ear, it's not just about recording, it's also knowing a hit. There's a lot of people that have no talent with producing, bro, but they have a talent in listening. But the ones who blow up, the ones who are, and I don't want to name drop, but I know a lot of audio recording engineers with Grammys, because they understand the song, so they engineer and add their little engineering niche to it. They just add their touch to it, and then the artists are like, I want that guy. Because he heard my voice, he put this on there, he did this, he did that. Justin Bieber dropped a song, and in the background goes, it's his actual vocal. The engineer and the producer came together, was like, okay, we can't do a synth on it, let's use his vocal, and the engineer went in there and tweaked it. and it became like the theme of the song. They don't know that that's an actually pitched up voice of a vocal. So when you have those kind of touches, don't be scared to do 2 mixes. Do the mix they asked for, and do the mix that you think is just hot. Have 2 mixes, and then give them the one they asked for and say, hey, do you mind me sending you what I thought was dope? And they may pick that up, and if they pick it up, they're gonna hold on to you. I've got, for instance, Pitt had an engineer I was working with. The dude was working out of his house. And no matter where Pitt would, and this is not me, I'm just telling you my testimony of what made him dope, was Pitt chose him. So a lot of the stuff was coming in through email from Texas, from Cali, wherever the dude was recording. He would send it to this dude in Miami. And the dude always had work. Even if it's just, back then mixtapes were huge. And Pitt was like a king of Miami with mixtape. And he'll send it to that one guy because the dude knew his voice and Pitt liked what he did to it.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like that. When you find an engineer that really knows, it's a connection. You
love what you do. Put yourself behind. Love what you do. Don't try to be someone else. Just say, you know what, I'm gonna mix, and I'm gonna do the best I can do to mix. Don't try too hard. Just feel and vibe. And trust me, the artist will tell you, I don't like this. Do this to it.
Yeah.
And don't have crocodile skin. Just say okay. Okay.
Yeah. If there's something you can take back and do differently, what would it be?
As far as musician or a business, there's a lot.
In life in general.
Oh, life in general? I would have been doing positive music back then, because I started this when there was no Christian hip-hop. There was no positive hip-hop, nothing, 2012. But I would have done that earlier. So I think I focused too much on being a hood star than just doing music. I cared what my peers thought about me. I didn't care what my expression was. And people like expression. I got caught up in industry. I got caught up in making sure I'm on every flyer. I got caught up in trying to be famous and not trying to be in someone's life. Music is a frequency, it's a vibration. So now that I do songs, I open myself to a place to say, you know what, how can I express myself that's gonna be sellable but not sold out? I'm not gonna sell out and listen to this dude. They're already doing that. Back then, when you and I were coming up, working together, T-Pain was just coming out, blowing up, and I met him in up north, and he was just handing out CDs. And my boy, I don't want to say his name, he was A&R, and he was like, this guy would never make it. You ever heard that? I've seen it with my own eyes. He laughed at him because he came up looking funny in Florida at the we were somewhere in the Panhandle. I wouldn't say Tallahassee. There was like some spring break thing. Handed him. I was there. I saw him. He had dreads. He came up like, yo, my name's T-Pain, this song. And my boy took it, listened to it, said that guy will never make it. Never make it. You know why? Because the A&R was chasing what was already in. He wasn't chasing what an artist can do. And then we know that T-Pain set a trend with his style. Like everyone started using auto-tune when it wasn't in. So as much as you hate or like it, he started a trend because he did what he wanted to do, and we winded up liking it as an audience. As we were like, yo, that's dope.
So what do you feel makes your radio station unique from what everybody else is doing? Because I see you do the whole radio thing. You have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, so our radio station's unique. First of all, we pump nothing but positive music, and if you take a listen to it, I'm not trying to plug it, you'll hear that the music that I get through this station, I know half the artists on the station. We're giving them airplay. We're one of the first positive hip music stations, so I'm very proud of that. Back in 2012, I've been at it since then. It's growing popularity now. The difference, and what I feel like what captures is that you walk away feeling different. Music is a vibration. So if it uplifts you and you're working out and you feel better about yourself, then that kind of music is therapeutic. And we know that music has therapy, therapy. So now I do music that makes an impact, that makes a difference. And so, and I'm not bashing anything else, but I grew up with gangster rap and I winded up doing some gangster things. That's my testimony. That's not everybody's. But I winded up believing what I was speaking. And in order to teach it, you must repeat it. So what was I repeating in my favorite songs? Murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. Right? So I could just tell you out of my experience and my conviction that is the kind of music I need to stay away from because I have triggers. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters like me, brothers, and my sisters that listen to music and they believe it, bro. We got a lot of these, what we would call studio gangsters out there. They're just trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
And big shout out to my boy D1, because he's big on positive music. And he got a lot of heat from Rick Ross, from half the community saying, what are you talking about? Because he says, man, what we're saying, it's not good for the community. Look at us, man. We're like 30 years in hip hop, and how many murders behind it?
Yeah.
You hear it enough, bro. In order to teach it, you must repeat it, right? Words become things.
Yeah.
All right. The Bible says that words become things. Life and death come by the tongue, and there's evidence in my music. I'll tell you how. Because when you're speaking it, you're believing it. All right. In order to teach it, you must repeat it. Listen to this. Words become sentences. Sentences, all right, become a habit. So if you repeat it, it becomes a habit. A habit becomes character, and a character becomes your destiny. So if you're toting and teaching it, then one of our little brothers are not strong enough like us.
Yeah.
They're going to wind up believing it. So I left that type of music. Not all hip hop is like that, dog, but mine was.
All right. Who was your favorite artist to work with and why?
My favorite artist, well, my favorite producer was Chad. My favorite artist, man, that's kind of hard, bro. I've worked with so many people. I mean, I don't have a favorite per se.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
In 5 years from now, I was thinking about starting a record label, because now we have radio, we have a lot of platforms to do that. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. 5 years from now, I see us doing more video content myself. I see myself being a little more passive here at Launch Radio and producing and engineering and passing the mantle on to many other people.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. Give your shout outs and let the people know how to reach you.
Yeah, big shouts out to you guys tuning in. Big shouts out to my boy T-REXZ, known him forever, man. Bro, come on, dog. Big shouts out to DJ Shu from Blue Note Studio back in the day.
You already know.
Man, Big Earl, everyone in Orlando, bro. Sonny Chulo, everyone that's ever done music with me, bro. There's too many to go. DJ Cool Hands, Press. These are my old school dudes here in Orlando. So big shouts out to you guys. Hit me up at www.launchradio.net.
All right, no doubt, man. Peace.